Alright, today we're on Chapter 11, Review. We do have a test that is scheduled for Tuesday, so be prepared for that. The first thing we're going to do is finding the area of whatever particular figure is given to us. So we're going to have to, again, use our reference sheet and pay attention to exactly what the shape actually is, and then write the formula first and then plug it in and solve. I'm going to run through these. You can always hit pause before you do it. That would be the best way of doing this, and then compare your answers. So I would go ahead and hit pause and solve this. Alright, the very first thing we need to do is write the formula, base times height, because it is a parallelogram, and we're going to simply plug those in. My base is going to be 10 times my height, which is 6.6, and we simply plug it in the calculator and solve, and you're going to find that you end up getting 66 centimeters, and it is square centimeters for the actual answer. So again, base times height, plug it in, plug that in your calculator, and solve 66 square centimeters. Next two problems, I'm going to have you solve both of these, and then I'm going to do them. So go ahead and hit pause and do both. Alright, the formula for this is going to be base times height divided by 2. And you're going to simply plug in the base, which is 10, the height, which is 8, divide that by 2, and you're going to see that we get 80 divided by 2, which is 40. And that is square meters. Okay, that is a triangle. For this particular problem, that is a trapezoid. So we're going to take that formula, which is 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. So we're going to plug this in then and look for my base 1 and base 2, and base 1 is this one and base 2 is the top. So 1/2 times the height, which is 3, times whatever base 1 is, which is 7, plus the height, or excuse me, base 2, which is 4. And please make certain that you bring this down. A couple of you made some mistakes on this on the quiz, changing that to multiplication. Be very careful that you're bringing down what you need to do for each. So then we get 1/2 times 3 times 7 plus 4, which is 11. So 1/2 times 33, which equals, and you can plug that in your calculator to get 33 times 1/2, or 0.5, or you could divide that by 2. Either way works perfectly fine. And you'll see that you get 16 5/10, and that is square inches, again, because it is dealing with area. Please be very, very careful when you plug these in the calculator. Do them step at a time and do it again. Check. Make certain that you didn't miscorrectly calculate or plug in a particular number, or thought you hit a number and it didn't record. So again, please make certain that you're doing that to double check your answers. Okay. Next problem is finding the circumference. So go ahead and do that. Hit pause. Alright, formula is 2 pi r, 2 times pi times the radius, because they gave us the radius. And so we plug that in, 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which they did give us, which is 6. Now obviously if they gave us the diameter for this then would be 12, because we'd have to double that. If they gave us the answer of 12 and you're needing to find the radius, then obviously you take half of that and divide it by 2 to get your 6. Okay? So now you plug that in and you'll see that you get 3.14 times 2 times 6, 37 and 68 hundredths. Please always round to the nearest tenths. which is that 6, so 37 and 7/10, and it is only meters because we are talking about circumference. So please, please, please pay attention to what the unit of measurement should be, and I'll be reminding you of that on test time. So 37 and 7/10 of a meter. Now find the area. Let's go ahead and hit pause. Alright, our formula for this is pi times the radius, times the radius, well, maybe that's not going to work for me. There we go, pi times the radius squared. So we are going to take 3.14 times, well, what is the radius of this? They gave me the diameter. I only need the radius from here to here. So you have to divide that by 2, and you get 11 centimeters, and that is squared. Okay, so that's 3.14 times whatever 11 times 11 is, which is going to give you 121. And you multiply that then by 3.14, and you'll see you get 379.94. Now you're going to round to the nearest tenths, so 379 and 9/10, and we're dealing with area, so it is squared. Go ahead and check your answer. Next problem is complex figures. So we have to find the area of this entire shape. So what two shapes do we have? So go ahead and hit pause, write those formulas down, and solve. Now we have a rectangle, and up here we have a triangle. So rectangle is length times width. The triangle is base times height divided by 2. So let's find those lengths and widths. We'll start with this. My length, and we have to be very careful that we pay attention to what it is actually asking us and showing us on the diagram. So since this is saying just from here to here, that is my width, or excuse me, my length of my rectangle, which is 20, times the width, which is from here to here, which is 7, and 20 times 7 is 140 square inches. Now for my triangle, I see that this right here would be my base, and that would be 7 times my height. Now it literally doesn't give me the height, so I've got to look at the difference between measuring from the top of this to the bottom, and then we compare it to this one over here, and we see that that difference that's missing is from here to here. So we can subtract these two, and 25 minus 20 will give me that difference of 5. So 5 is my height. Divide that by 2. So 35 divided by 2. And you'll see when you plug that in again to your calculator, and some of you obviously can do that in your head, which I do recommend that you do that to check your answers, but do be careful. Some of us think that we've got it, and it never hurts to double check it with that calculator, which you do get 17 and 5/10, and that is square inches. Now what do I need to do to finalize this? You need to add both answers together, and you'll see that you get 5.751. So 157 and 5/10 of a square inch. That is my final answer. Okay. Next problem, go ahead and hit pause, but name each figure. Remember, you name them by their base. Alright, naming this one by the base, seeing being that it is a triangle. So triangular. And what type of shape? Is it a prism or a pyramid? And it is pyramid. Okay, triangular pyramid. This one over here, again, the base is triangular. And does it have two bases? Yes, it does. Therefore, it is a prism. Okay. Remember, the pyramid's always going to come to a point. which is directly above or opposite of the base. A prism has two bases that are parallel and congruent to each other. Okay, be careful. Make certain that you again name them by their base. This one says draw top, side, and front view. I'm going to let you go ahead and do that. Alright, top view, looking down on this figure. Again, looking down, you want to look at the perimeter of what you see, which the top view is going to be simply a rectangle or square in this case. The side view, looking at it from over here. And again, what do you see as the perimeter of that shape, which is going to be this right out here, which is a triangle. And the front view is going to be coming in from this angle. And again, what do you see? You see nothing but a triangle. Okay? So that's what your top, side, and front view would look like. Do be careful with those. You can look at a few more examples. They are in the book. Before I get to this one, do note too that you will have the dot matrix. So take a look at that. We'll try one in class tomorrow. Go ahead and hit pause and solve the volume of this rectangular prism. Alright, as you can see, length times width times height is going to give me my answer according to my formula. And my length is 25. My width is 17. And my height is 10. And you can just simply plug all those into the formula. 25 times 17 times 10. Plug that in your calculator and you get 4,250 cubic meters. Make certain you pay attention to that unit of measurement. Go ahead and hit pause and solve this. Now my formula to this again is pi r squared times the height. So we're going to look at this one, 3.14 times my radius, which is 6, and it is squared, times the height, which is 12. So 3.14 times, not 12, but 36. That is 6 times 6 times the 12. And you can plug that into your calculator as well. 3.14 times 36 times 12. And you get an answer of 1,356.48, and round to the nearest tenths to where you get 1,356 and 5/10, which then becomes cubic inches. And again, make sure you're paying attention to what you're rounding here. That number to the right, again, the 8 is going to make that number go up to a 5. Cubic inches is your answer. So again, we're going to do some more review with this tomorrow and discuss this a little further. And there is a bit of a study guide review that you can do the night before that will keep a lot of this fresh in your mind so you're prepared for that test. It's not going to be a real hard test as long as, again, you're using those formulas. If you don't use the formulas and pay attention to what those are asking, that's where the difficulty sets in. Those are the tools that you will absolutely need to be successful for this test. So have a great night. Hope you enjoyed your weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow.